Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, a very unusual video today. We're going to have a look at history and a famous incident in the history of Sudoku, which you may not know if you're recent to the channel or recent to Sudoku in any way, or you may want to know more of the details of, even if you do know a bit about it. So, 11 years ago, the Philadelphia Inquirer newspaper held the National Sudoku Championship for the US at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philly. And Will Shortz was the host. This was very much the premier domestic Sudoku event in the country, with $17,000 of prize money, of which $10,000 would go to the winner. And they invited entrants from all across the country to pre-register and turn up, or even just to turn up on the day. Not surprisingly, a huge field assembled, and the event took place. Now, the format was 3 puzzles in each of 3 rounds, and whoever won the first round would get into the final. Whoever won the second round, or whoever was first who hadn't already qualified for the final in the second round, would get into the final, and the same in the third round. And Thomas Snyder, very well-known name in the history of Sudoku, one of the first world champions, and the person after whom our favoured notation is named, won the first round and qualified for the final. Tammy McLeod, who'd won both previous who'd been in the top 3 in both previous Philadelphia Inquirer tournaments, took the second place in the final from the second round. But during that round, a new entrant registered who nobody was familiar with, and he won the third round. Eugene Warshawski was therefore also on the podium for the final, where one single puzzle was solved to determine the winner, and indeed the second place. But then, a couple of days later, the story broke, and this is from the Inquirer itself, that the third place contestant had been disqualified after an investigation which included retesting. They name him as Eugene Warshawski of Lawrenceville, New Jersey, and he was stripped of the $3,000 that he had appeared to win after doing poorly in the retest. Chris Narikatu of New York City was given the money, effectively. And Will Shortz observed that when we observed the inconsistent results in the advanced finals, we commenced an investigation. Eugene had done his 3 puzzles in the preliminary round in 14 minutes total. So an average of 4, or 4.5, 4 2/3. So very fast times, and about what you'd expect from a really good solver. Now, what happened is available to be seen in Thomas Snyder's own blog. And I'll post a link to this in the description field. But he explains that there was some fairly suspicious activity, that Eugene, with a handwritten tag saying Eugene, indicating he hadn't pre-registered, competed with his hoodie up or the whole time, with headphones in, which were allowed, and barely spoke to anybody. And even in the final, he hardly connected with anybody and had very little of the final puzzle done. In fact, Thomas actually says that what happened in the final was Thomas finished in just under 5 minutes, realized a little later that he'd made a mistake. He saw that Tammy was finishing in 7.5 minutes and that she had therefore won. In fact, Thomas says he was the guy who had to reveal that he had made a mistake because it hadn't been spotted at that stage. Eugene then had 12.5 minutes to try and finish his puzzle and take the second place prize of $4,000 instead of the third place of $3,000. But he didn't even bother. He just gave up at that point and accepted third place, which is fascinating. But Thomas then looked at his board and noticed that Eugene had only put in a couple of digits, which is quite surprising within 7.5 minutes for a top-class solver. So Thomas's suspicions were raised, and he spoke to the tournament organizers about them. I think other people probably had as well, and eventually that investigation happened. Now, Thomas suggests that what could have gone on would be that Eugene was able to communicate the puzzles he was given in the preliminary round on his headphones, through a device to an accomplice who could then feed the puzzle into a Sudoku solver, tell him the result, enabling him to finish 3 puzzles in 14 minutes. And that's quite possible, but who knows? We don't know what happened. There's never been a confession. However, wouldn't it be fascinating if there was footage of this on-stage final? And here it is. A YouTube video that's had 50,000 views. You get to see Thomas filling in digits, very busy in the first minute of the tournament. There's Tammy working away at her puzzle, studying the board. And there he is, Eugene, the man in the hood, who is not getting much done at this point, but then nor was Tammy. But the camera doesn't stay on him very long, but it's just fascinating to see somebody solving in a hood like this. So really intriguing. Now, the fallout continued. Here's an article from NJ.com, a New Jersey, obviously, news desk, which says, a man who said he is from Lawrenceville and placed 3rd in a major Sudoku number puzzle contest here Saturday is under investigation amid allegations of cheating. Now, this is brilliant. The report said Eugene placed 3rd out of 646 competitors and won $3,000, but he's not listed in the Lawrenceville telephone directory. So, a bit of a mystery around him there. Another report mentioned that a Eugene Warshawski who lived in Philadelphia had been tracked down but denied he was the competitor. So the suggestion now is that maybe this guy is a made-up name. Here's his board, by the way. This is fantastic. This is in another report from, this is from Number Warrior, where it says that Eugene entered the competition in highly irregular circumstances. He skipped the 1st and 2nd rounds altogether, arriving late, but then proceeded to finish the 3rd round in blazing time, qualifying him for the final. And this is his grid at the end of the competition. Now, you can just see a couple of numbers sketched in, no pencil marks, no notes, 7.5 minutes. Just weird. What was going on? And then a little further investigation by various people. Some people joined the dots, and a chess tournament from 3 years before was suddenly in the spotlight. This is from a blog by John Bartholomew, who's a regular tournament chess player, who titled this blog post The Man in the Hat. And he mentions having played Eugene Warshawski at the 2006 World Open, again in Philadelphia. And when John played Eugene, his opponent blundered a pawn on move 14 in a well-known position, but I failed to convert, eventually suffering a bitter reversal indeed. So John actually says he knew he hadn't played all that well, but he was a bit confused by his opponent's demeanour. He arrived 20 minutes late, took a lot of time in the opening, even on standard replies, and then switched to a mechanical pace. His moves started becoming methodical and determined. And I slowly realised I was getting outplayed by this outwardly average player. Strangely, despite his obvious strength, he appeared to have no grasp of chess notation. He struggled to record his moves, erasing and rewriting throughout, and he clearly had to use the A to H and 1 to 8 grid markings to identify squares. I still don't know any 2000 plus player who does this. Actually, that surprised me a little bit because I thought that was the standard notation, but there we go. I don't play a lot of tournament chess. Lastly, he wore very heavy clothes. This was the beginning of July, and a characteristic drooping bucket hat that hung low, covering his ears. Myself and others would later give more extensive accounts of Warshawski's peculiarities here. So, in the next round, it reports, he just made a terrible blunder on move 9 and lost heavily to a good opponent. But in the following round, playing against somebody quite good, Ilya Smirin in this case, he beat one of the top players in the world in fine technical style. Now, the really interesting point comes later. Larry Christensen, who was suspicious, ran the moves of the match through Shredder and found that Warshawski's last 25 moves matched that of that chess program, Shredder's. ChessBase picks up the story. And the story goes that the director of the Open asked to see Warshawski before one of the rounds, and he hurried off to the bathroom. The director waited 10 minutes outside the stall, and then Warszawski consented to be searched, but no electronic device was found. So he was allowed to carry on in the tournament. A couple of tournament directors went to search the bathroom stall later on, but they found that Warszawski was in it for 45 minutes, and when he'd left, they didn't find any evidence there either. Warszawski's last 2 games were against 2 grandmasters, and he lost each game quickly, and that's all that was known of him in the chess world. After that, he didn't appear again. Absolutely fascinating, but we can't be in much doubt that this is going to be the same guy. Now, he gave his address in this case as Ewing, New Jersey, a slightly different place in New Jersey. And again, there were reports that no such person seems to exist in New Jersey. Well, I don't know why that's happening, because if you do about 3 minutes of searching on the internet, the white pages will tell you that, yeah, there are 3 Eugene Warszawskis, one in Philadelphia by coincidence, one in California, but here's one in Matawan, New Jersey, and all his addresses pretty much are in New Jersey or nearby in New York, including Lawrence Township, Ewing, New Jersey, and it's pretty clear he's still there to me. Somewhere near Princeton University, we have Eugene Warszawski, probably in Matawan at the moment. Now, the reason that this cropped up to mind recently is that yesterday Simon's video attracted this comment, and here it is. Somebody had pointed out that Simon was very late with the last digit in the grid, which had been solvable for a long time, and Eugene Warszawski says, I noticed he does that a lot in his solves. Whether or not that's on purpose shall remain a puzzle. Well, what is also remaining a puzzle is what happened on that day back in Philadelphia. Eugene, if you're watching this, do let us know, because it would be great to have some closure on the event. If you've been wronged, that would be absolutely fascinating too. Now, you will have seen that during this run through of the events, we got a look at the puzzle. So what I decided to do is put it in our software and give it a go today. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be solving that final puzzle from the, let's get the placement right. There we go, that's better. From the Philadelphia Inquirer National Championship of 2009. And let's see how far we get, both in 4 minutes 50, which was Thomas Snyder's time, and 7.5 minutes, which was Tammy McLeod's winning time, given that Thomas made the error, and the time at which Eugene gave up with only a couple of digits placed. So I've never tried this puzzle before. I'm going to have a go now, and we'll see how we do. Let's get cracking. So we've got a 9. I can do a 9 in the top cell immediately. I'm going as fast as I can for obvious reasons. 9s are great. 9s are all done, just like that. That's nice. Now, 3, 8, 9, 6, 5. 5 can be placed in column 2. One of those is a 5. One of those is a 3. 3, 9, 7, 2. 3 is limited to 2 cells in box 3. 1, 9, 3, 5. One of those is a 5. No, one of these is a 3 and one is a 1. They are a pair. That's going to help us narrow down 6 and 4. 4 there. Actually, 6 could have been done before. 9, 6, 5, 4, 3. 3 is placeable here. That's good. That fixes the 3-1 pair. Should have spotted that before. 8 is in one of those 2 cells. 6, 4, 3, 9, 7, 2. I think these have to be 1 and 5 as a result of that. 6, 7, 2, 3 again. Yeah, that's working its way around the grid now. So let's get rid of that pencil mark. That's the last 3. 3, 1, 9, 7. No, struggling a bit now. 4, 6, and 8. 4's in one of those. Don't know which one. 3, 5. Not surprisingly, there's a tough bit of this puzzle. I think we could have expected that from a final puzzle. 2. I thought that 8 was going to be more helpful. 3, 8, 2, 9, 1. That can't be a 1. 4. Ooh, okay, this is sticky. That is 6 or 8. I don't know if that's going to help. Probably not. 05, 3195, 2. 7 is in one of those two positions. In fact, 7 is limited in box 8 to one of those. That is a 1 or a 2. Yeah, that means 5's in one of those two. 6, 8. That's 1 or 7. 4, 1, 2 or 7. Nope, still not sure what's going on up there. 6, 9, 3, 5, 8. Oh, this is tricky. Oh, I don't know how long I am in, because you'll have to work that out from the video, because I did so much preamble in this video. 2, 3, 9, 8, 7. What are we going to spot to help us get going here? I haven't really got much penciled in, actually. 7, 3, 4. 2 and a 7 have to be on the top and bottom row here. How can that help? No, 6, 9, 3, 5, 8, 2, 7. Oh, this is a naked single. Oh man, that's taken a long time. Right, 9, 8, 5, 1, but that fixes 8 down there. Puts an 8 in one of those two. 9, 5, 3, 6. Ooh, that's 1 or 4. No, it's not 4, because we've got that pencil marked in, so that's effectively a naked single as well. Now we've got 4, 5 and 6 to place in those, which is a bit of stupid pencil marking. That's 2 or 7. 9, 8, 5, is this? This can't be 1. That's 2 or 7. Certainly not 8 anymore. This is 2 or 7. Oh, we might be able to get some sort of play between the 7s. If 7 was there, that would be 7, that would be 7, that would be 7. One of those two up the side, it would be there. It's all possible. Darn. 4, 9, 3, 9, 7, 3, 6, 8 in one of those two. Okay, I'm struggling a bit here. What if that was a 4? That's a stupid thing to be focusing on, because it wouldn't rule much out. 3, 2, 8, 9. So 1 is now fixed up here. That's what I should have got earlier. That fixes the 1, 5 pair. Struggling with the software there. That's not a 5. So we've got, that is a 5. No, that's also not a 5. This is 5 now. That's 5, that's 5, so that's a 4, 6 pair. This is 7, therefore. 3, 1, 9, 4, 6 and 8 still to go in the column. 7 certainly still to go in the box, and that puts 7 in the middle row in the middle box. 1, 9, 5, 3, 2, 7. That's 4, 6 or 8, but 2 is in one of those cells. Oh, still not done. Now, is this a 2 or a 7? If it's a 2, it fixes a 2 there. Oh, look, 7 there, looking at that cell. That's what we need. So 4, in fact, 7 gets placed there. That fixes this triple in box 7. That fixes that as a 2. Now we do know that 2's in one of those cells and not here, so I can put 2 in there. 2 now is fixed in box 4. 6, 4, 8, 7. 8, 2, 1, 9, 5, 3. No, still not done. 6 and 8 to go in there. 1, 4, 2 to go up here. That's a 2. This is a 1, 4 pair. That 2 fixes the central 2, which is not there anymore. 79253, certainly not done yet. We've still got, what is it, 4 and 7 to put in there. 35129, 4687 across the middle. No, I can't see that yet. Well, by uniqueness, I know that's not going to be 7 and 4, so I'm going to use that because I would in a final. That must be 7 and 6. 4, 6 there. That's quite amusing. That's something I'd meant to say. 4239. So 7 down here is now in this cell. That gives us the 7 in the middle box. I think not quite all 7s are done. Actually, the 6, 7 is done because the 6 is already in row 6. Now we can finish rows 4 and 6 and box 5. 6 there, finish column 4. 924573. Where does the 1? Oh no, 6 in the box must be there. 8, 1. This is an 8, 4, 6. We've got 4 and 8 to place there. 6 and 4 to place there. 1 and 4 to place there. I don't know exactly what my time is, but I'm thinking I came in ahead of Tammy slightly there, probably behind Thomas, and some way ahead of Eugene, who I think we saw had put in digits in those cells to start with. I do remember getting that 5, which was available from those given 5s and the given digits there. The 9 I got as part of kind of getting all of the 9s straight away, or almost all of them at least. So it is a bit baffling how a solver who had finished 3 puzzles in 14 minutes could only get 2 digits in 7.5 in the final. I think that's what we were expecting to see, and it certainly happened. So do let me know your thoughts on the story. Maybe you feel I shouldn't have gone there, but I think it's been a very interesting one, even though it was 11 years ago. Now, the beauty of Sudoku is that you can do it online, but the problem with that is that a tournament of classics online is very open to cheating, and that somebody could easily just feed the numbers into a solver, produce the answers, and say they'd finished. And that's very frustrating. So we understand why face-to-face competitions are better, but it turns out even those can be changed up. So there we go. That is our report into the famous Sudoku cheating scandal. I hope it was interesting to you. Hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Do join us for more Sudoku fun later. Bye for now.